I don't think anybody's really thought this through. They are grasping at straws trying to get people into these homes. So the last thing we need is another barrier so that we are struggling to find even more staff.
Just hours after Washington Governor Jay Inslee announced a vaccine mandate for all state and healthcare workers, some employers are sounding the alarm, saying the mandate will only add to the severe staffing shortages they are experiencing. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 11 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. We'll hear more about the employers' concerns, but first that mandate. Governor Inslee today mandating state employees and healthcare workers will be required to get vaccinated or they'll be fired. The move comes as the Delta variant is quickly spreading across the state. KREM 2 political reporter Casey Decker has the latest on today's announcement and why it's happening right now.
The Delta variant is causing serious problems. Case numbers are skyrocketing statewide, and more importantly, hospitals are starting to get crowded again. So, in an effort to stop the spread and increase vaccinations, Governor Jay Inslee issued a new order today. First off, all public employees for state cabinet agencies must be vaccinated. This also applies to state contractors. Secondly, all public or private healthcare workers in Washington and all workers in long-term care facilities will need to get the shot. It does not apply to separately elected state leaders or their employees, so the Attorney General's office, for example, but those offices largely are requiring vaccines on their own. It also does not currently apply to K-12 schools or higher ed. Workers will need to be fully vaccinated by October 18th. Employers are responsible for making sure their workers prove their status. If employees refuse, they'll be considered to no longer be meeting the basic qualifications for their job and they'll be fired. Today, the governor essentially said, with Delta threatening the state's recovery, the time for wavering on this vaccine is over.
It's understandable, I think, that some have been hesitant up till now. It's understandable they would ask questions about this vaccine. It's a new vaccine, by the way. But now we have had over 300 million people take this vaccine safely. Over 165 million Americans are already successfully vaccinated. This vaccine has now been armed for over a year, safely and effectively.
The governor said this is all under his emergency pandemic authority. At the moment, he is not issuing any new mask mandates, but today his office said that may be an option in the future if cases keep skyrocketing. Now, having this requirement for long-term care employees is especially important because, as we've seen across the state and the country, that is where the worst and the deadliest outbreaks take place. That's true in Spokane County as well. According to state data, since the start of the pandemic, 699 people have died from COVID here. Of those, 364 were in long-term care facilities. That's more than half. Now, King County and the city of Seattle also announced similar orders for their government employees. However, I reached out to spokespeople for Spokane County and the city of Spokane. Both said vaccine mandates for local government employees are not being considered here right now. In the newsroom tonight, Casey Decker, KREM 2 News.
One of the most emotional responses to the new mandate we've received today comes from some in the healthcare industry who say they're now worried about the potential loss of staff due to Inslee's mandate. KREM 2's Joshua Robinson joining us live in the studio tonight with more on that. Joshua?
Yeah, Mark, one of the biggest concerns tonight does come from workforce within our local adult family homes. Now, here at KREM 2, we have reported on the shortage of workers in adult care facilities throughout the region. So today I canvassed experts from across Spokane to see just how worried those same facilities are today about an even deeper cut to a short-staffed workforce. As recently as 2015, Amanda Whithauer has run two of her own adult family homes, one in Washington and one in Idaho.
We were struggling to find staff back then. I mean, to the point that you could put an ad on Craigslist or Indeed or somewhere and still not have anybody even show up for interviews.
Now she teaches administrator courses for family home compliance, giving incoming home providers the education they need on marketing laws, regulations, and anything else to successfully enter the workforce. But that field has been hit hard by the pandemic.
You're asking people to go into these homes where people could have COVID, right? You're asking them, they're kind of on the front lines to go into this home and take care of these people that you don't know from one day to the next might be infected. And so getting staff during the pandemic has also been hard.
So with obstacle after obstacle already in place to staff assisted living facilities properly, Whithauer says today's announcement from Governor Inslee about a new vaccine mandate for healthcare workers could mark the end for good quality businesses trying to keep their heads above water.
I have people have been texting me all afternoon saying, Amanda, I have 12 staff They're going to walk away. If they walk away, I'm going to have to close my doors. What are we going to do with the elderly people? I have caregivers. They're texting me saying, I guess I'm out of a job October 18th. Maybe I'll move to Kentucky. Laugh out loud. These guys aren't going to be forced to be mandated. We are going to lose a lot of the workforce.
And as she teaches the next wave of incoming healthcare workers, Whithauer tells me she's concerned how the mandate could impact other jobs within the healthcare workforce as well.
Physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, hospice workers, the ones who have chosen not to be vaccinated, but are wearing gloves, masks, eye goggles, and everything else to take care of people, now are having to make a choice to either choose to be vaccinated or leave your job. I can tell you from talking to a lot of them, they're not going to stay, they're going to leave, and they're going to look elsewhere.
Now, I also spoke with several other representatives from home care facilities across our region. Some representatives told me they are very supportive of this mandate, saying if an employee doesn't want a vaccine, well, they don't want to hire that employee. Others have backed up Whithauer's concerns that they might have to close their doors for good by the end of the year, even if the governor's mandate is for whatever reason retracted. But a lot of representatives told me today that they have no choice but to wait and see how things shake out between now and October 18th. Joshua Robinson, KREM 2 News.
Joshua, thank you very much. An alarming new statistic from the Panhandle Health District. They have the highest number of COVID patients in the entire state of Idaho. Right now, 71 people are currently hospitalized across all 5 northern counties. 67 of those patients are at Kootenai Health, and 29 of those patients are in critical care. Compared to Boise's busiest hospital, St. Alphonsus, there are 30 COVID patients at that location. Kootenai Health CEO John Ness said that the hospital census is rising in the Panhandle faster than it did last winter. And if that trend continues, in 5 days, they'll surpass their previous COVID-19 high census from December of 2020. Meantime, here in Spokane County, our hospitalization rates are also skyrocketing. 111 people are currently hospitalized because of the virus, according to the Spokane Regional Health District. 98 new cases also reported today, including 3 new deaths. And with this Delta variant proving to be much more contagious, some employers now once again requiring masks at the workplace. Starting today, Amazon warehouse workers will have to wear masks again indoors. The requirement impacts 900,000 employees regardless of their vaccination status. The Spokane Tribe also requiring all tribal employees to wear masks inside tribal government facilities. That includes visitors to the facilities as well, regardless of their vaccination status. If you'd like more information on the new vaccine requirement in Washington or more on the increasing number of cases across the inland Northwest, just text the word vaccine to 509-448-2000 and we'll send a link directly to your phone. All right, switching gears to weather now. After a couple of days of cooler temperatures, we're expecting things to warm right back up. Meteorologist Michelle Boss joining us from the Outdoor Weather Center tonight. And Michelle, we're talking the potential for even more record heat.
Yeah, we've already seen 6 days this summer that have seen high temperatures at or above 100 degrees, and it looks like we are headed in that direction again. Tonight, though, temperatures are still going to cool off pretty nicely, so it's a great chance to open those windows and cool your homes off. We've got 68 degrees right now in Spokane, 65 in Coeur d'Alene, but look up north, temperatures in the mid-50s right now. We could see overnight lows in those locations still dipping down into the upper 40s and lower 50s, near 70 in Moses Lake and lower 70s right now in Lewiston. But over the next couple of days, it's really going to start warming up, so excessive heat watches are currently posted. These will likely be upgraded to excessive heat warnings, or at least heat advisories, starting on the west side on Wednesday and then on Thursday through Sunday for eastern Washington, Coeur d'Alene and North Idaho down into the Idaho Palouse. We're looking at highs once again in the middle and upper 90s and even the low 100s, and we do have a chance to break a couple more records this weekend. We do have mostly clear skies out there right now, just some ground clutter on satellite and radar. No precipitation expected anywhere this week. We have a few high clouds moving in though, so we'll call it partly cloudy skies for tomorrow. That is not really going to inhibit our temperatures much. We still might have a little bit of haze though. Air quality has been in the moderate category today and will likely stay there for tomorrow. Hopefully we won't see too much of an increase in smoke, but those hotter temperatures could cause those fires that are currently burning to become more active. Here's a look at the next 3 days. 88 tomorrow, partly cloudy, then mostly sunny on Wednesday and Thursday, highs in the middle and upper 90s.
All right, thank you very much, Michelle. We'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. That excessive heat watch certainly will not help firefighters working on 32 large fires across the inland Northwest. Currently, more than 800,000 acres are burning. Heading to North Idaho, where the Trestle Creek Complex fire is burning more than 3,000 acres. fires near Hope, Idaho. It's 0% contained tonight, with level 2 evacuations in place for nearby communities. Now to Inchelium, Washington, where the Summit Trail fire is burning more than 28,000 acres. Crews have it about 30% contained. Level 1, 2, and 3 evacuations are in place for nearby communities there. Some good news in the battle against the massive bootleg fire in southern Oregon. It's now 96% contained. The fire destroyed at least 160 homes. Investigators say lightning started that fire back on July 6. There are several wildfires that we are tracking. For an update on all those fires in our region, just text us the word fire to 509-448-2000 and we'll send that link directly to your phone. New tonight, the pilot of the Alaska plane crash near Ketchikan, Alaska was involved in another crash in July. According to the NTSB, the pilot from Cle Elum died last Thursday along with 6 other passengers. Those passengers were originally on a cruise ship that took off from Seattle. Efforts to recover the plane wreckage was paused today because of poor weather. The wreckage is described as being in very rugged and steep terrain, making it difficult for investigators to even reach the wreckage. All right, still to come tonight. It is a day some families have been waiting months for, more than a year in fact. The Canadian border finally reopened to vaccinated Americans. What you need to know before you take that trip up north.